So, my 1,000-kilometer review. Not bad. Not bad at all. Well, hello adventurers. Yes, this is what adventure bikes do. And this particular one is very easy to lane split in. Filter. So yes, I now have a Yamaha T7. My first ever Yamaha. And I think that's getting me close to owning all the major manufacturers, that's for sure. Honda, Suzuki, Kawasaki, KTM, Husqvarna, and now Yamaha. So a T7, you say? Why Nerb a T7? Well, yeah, it's a bit down on horsepower, that's for sure. In fact, I think it's about half of the horsepower. So, you know, this motor's rated, I don't know, 75, and the 1190 was sort of 150. But I mean, when you're crawling around the bush, obviously you're not using the big horsepower, and you don't need it. It's nice when you're overtaking road trains. So I can manage without. I mean, I had a Husky, the 610 for a while, right? That only had 40 horsepower. That's after it was tuned. So, what is this Tenere T700? I guess, you know, if you haven't been that interested in this type of bike, you might not know anything about it. It is the middleweight adventure class. That's what they say. Geez, is everyone going to know which way to go? And I'm liking it. It's quite nimble. No, it's 206 kilos wet. It's only got a 16-litre tank. So take all weights with a grain of salt. I've got a more comprehensive weight video, either out or coming out. Yeah, 75 horsepower at the crank, of course. And it feels very nimble. The suspension gets a bad name. Shit, which way did they just go? Oh, this way. The suspension gets a bit of a name. People say it's pretty crap, and you know, it may be at the extreme end. I am certainly getting suspension work done, considering, you know, I like to travel over some pretty rough terrain with a lot of gear. But, you know, just riding it around for the last couple of days, I've had it for a week, so, you know, we'll get more comprehensive discussions about it. But it's I think the suspension is actually, you know, it's pretty reasonable. It's pretty reasonable. While we're waiting for the next group, let's have a quick look at it. So I've got Moscow Moto bags, got my own sticker kit, I've got Outback Motor Tech crash bars. I haven't got a bash plate, it's coming. Still got the stock exhaust, that's coming. Tail tidy is coming. And I'll make my own front fender lift kit. But yeah, I mean, I don't know, some people, in fact a very close friend just said, yeah, look, it's just not as sexy as the big 1190. But I disagree. I like it. I think, oh, and I've got stock tires. I will be getting some more serious tires. But yeah, man, I think it's a good looking bike, and it is very nice to ride so far. And I feel I feel comfortable on it right off the bat. If you're coming from a smaller bike, I guess it's still going to feel big. Whoa, see those ants? No, you probably didn't on a camera. Yeah, if you're coming from a smaller bike, it's probably still going to feel big. But you know, coming from a bigger bike, it it definitely feels smaller. Duck under that tree branch. Oh yeah, so what was I saying about the suspension? You know, I think for the most people, even if you're just doing something like this, I think the actual stock suspension is actually not bad. Yeah. You know, it's getting airborne, and that's when suspension that's when it lets you down, and it does get dangerous. You know, if you haven't done anything to it. Whoa, the whoops! That tests out suspension too. Whoa, big front end tuck. Oops. Sorry, just wasn't expecting that. It's a nice torquey motor. Certainly the horsepower is down on the 1190. On the 1190, I really have to be careful twisting the throttle. You can step the back end out big time without any effort. This one, I actually have to open the throttle, twist it, or be in a lower gear.
400 metres, take exit W7 for Millers Road towards State Route 41.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, so its fuel economy seems pretty awesome, which is good for those long trips. Of course, we'll see what it's like.
Take exit W7.
Yeah, I heard you. Yeah, we'll see what it's like, you know, under riding in dirt conditions.
In 500 metres, turn left onto Millers Road, State Route 41. Signs for State Route 41, Altona.
Okay. So yeah, I've modified my helmet setup a little bit, and I've got a new bike. And yeah, I'm very excited.
Turn left onto Millers Road,
about
State Route 41.
this.
Signs for State Route 41, Altona.
Okay, I'm very excited about this riding season. It's definitely easier to ride than the 1190. It's certainly a smaller frame all over, and it feels significantly lighter. Now I've put it on the scales, and it's not really it's not massively lighter. So without fuel, I've got 197 kilograms. So, and with fuel, 208. It's a nice bike. You know, I am a firm believer that there's not really any crap bikes around. They're all pretty good. So my other big concerns were the electronics on the KTM. So you know, more and more we're doing more and more remote tracks. I want to do some really remote tracks, and if the electronics let you down, you know, you're really buggered. So with the KTM, you know, there's computers. There's a dash, a CPU, computer in the tail. There's a few computers in it, and they're all linked together with serial numbers. And if you break one, damage one, yeah, and then the bike won't run. But even if you get a replacement, you can't fix it on the side of the road. If you carry a spare, you can plug it in and the bike won't run. It'll say, hey, that serial number's not on my register. You know, you could be stolen or something, so I'm not going to run. And you need to take the bike to a KTM dealer. They need to plug it into their software, communicate with Austria, and unlock the bike.
In 500 meters at the roundabout, continue straight to stay on Millers Road, State Route 41.
Okay. Yeah, you've got to unlock the bike, which means that you're stuffed if you're in the middle of nowhere. Whereas something like this Yamaha, it's back to basics. It's a fuel injected bike. Fuel injection is incredibly reliable these days. Well, it has been for a long, long, long time. And I mean, yes, you could snap the key off in the ignition or something. I'm assuming it's a bit difficult to hotwire, but there's not much that you can't fix on the side of the road, and that really has become a big plus for me. The electronics in the KTMs, I'm talking like, the 1190 and then the 790, if I'm comparing why did I buy this over the 790. The electronics in those bikes is awesome. What they do to the bike, then just usability, everything is really, really nice. And if I was just only ever riding around town and doing weekends in the high country, then yeah, I probably would have got one. So the problem is, if you go on a big, outback trip, which is what we're trying to do, I'm trying to do more and more of, these outback trips, if something goes wrong, you can't just fix the bike. You can't even take the spare parts to fix it. You have to take a dealership with you. And this was a constant worry on my mind. So even though they're pretty reliable, I just didn't want to really risk those big outback trips. Didn't really want to risk getting stuck and letting the team down. That's more to the point. You can always get back, it just costs money. And then the T7, the price is right.
600 meters at the roundabout, continue straight to stay on Millers Road, State Route 41.
The price is right, and I can afford to buy this and then do modifications. So I bought the 1190 for some ridiculous amount of money, and in the end I still modified it, right? I still did suspension work, I still bought bits and pieces left, right and center for it. Made up some of my own brackets. It said go straight ahead, didn't it? So if I buy a cheaper bike and I have to do these modifications, I was going to do them anyway.
In 600 meters, continue straight onto Millers Road.
I feel like I'm better off, and I get to do what I want. It's a bike. I feel like the T7 is a bike that you can do whatever you want to do to it. I have no idea what she said then.
Continue straight onto Millers Road, then turn right onto Esplanade.
Oh, okay. Oh, she's so friendly. If you think this is the type of bike for you, then I would say get it. It's nice, it's comfortable. There's a few cheap things on it. Check out this toolkit. T7 toolkit. Okay. That's it. Nothing else in there. Okay, let's see. We just got a puncher. Okay, so let's remove the back tire. That is 27. Okay. Oh yeah, that's one of those Allen 19mm Allen key. Okay, let's just go back to the toolkit. Well, you won't be removing your wheels or doing a puncture repair for the tubed tires with this toolkit. In fact, I'm not even sure what you can do with this toolkit. I think you can change the air filter. That's about it. I think you can maybe you can adjust the headlight beam without a tool. Yeah, so basically not much. So of course I'm used to a KTM which comes with enough tools to completely strip the bike down to its, obviously you can't pull the engine apart, but you can take everything else apart with a toolkit. So yeah, I don't know, it's a bit, I guess that's why it's cheap, and I guess also it saves on weight. And of course, Tom had a 790, has got a 790, so I can't buy one. I can't be the same as Tom. If I bought one, he'd say that I bought it because of him.